other things. So I believe, yeah, Sundial will be huge 5 years from now. Maybe dominating the globe. Let's find out. Yeah, so my name is Sheldon Hunt. I am a Canadian, but I've actually not lived in Canada for more than 10 years now. Almost coming up on 20 years of actually not lived in Canada. But yeah, so these days, Singapore is home. And I went to the University of Toronto and I studied something completely unrelated to crypto or blockchain. So I've always loved history, and so I studied history and did a specialist major in it, minored in political science and Asia Pacific studies. And it kind of kickstarted my life in a very interesting direction, so I regret nothing. So it's actually brought me here into crypto in a very interesting way. So, yeah. Yes, yeah. Well, so my project, I'm building something called Sundial. So it is kind of maybe best understood as essentially like a super UTXO chain. So I've always been a bit of like a Bitcoin maxi. And this actually kind of relates to my earlier history. So I was originally a Canadian diplomat, posted to Hong Kong, and met Vitalik there in 2013, 2014. And so it was part of like the original kind of cohort testing out some of the node operation of what was eventually to be like the homestead version of Ethereum. And loved what we could do, but always felt that, like Bitcoin had so much promise that was still untapped. And these last few years, I've actually been the head of the Cardano ecosystem, and in and around Cardano, helped design a lot of the on-chain governance that is now deployed there. So it brought my two worlds together. But my project now, Sundial, is, as I was mentioning, essentially a super layer 2. So we are plugging in a lot of the really cool extended UTXO mechanics of Cardano under the hood, and through bridging, through chain abstraction, and a number of really innovative technologies, we're able to plug into Bitcoin. Not changing Bitcoin because it's great at what it is. It's perfect. No need to change it. So we will change around Bitcoin to be able to give it expressiveness and yield generation, staking, and a full range of additional pretty promising opportunities to make it expressive, come to life. I started actually the very beginning of this year. So it was basically an idea of mine that crept up and just kind of struck me like lightning in October of last year, right around Halloween. I was like, okay, this is an idea. I need to do this. And so put in my letter of resignation, and at the very beginning of the year, January 1st, quit everything, all in to do Sundial. Yes, yeah. Well, so as essentially like a super UTXO chain, as I was mentioning, we plug into Bitcoin and Cardano, Litecoin, Dogecoin. The main feature is smart contract capabilities for these UTXO chains, because there's over $71 billion worth of value in these UTXO chains that are non-performing. They are quite stagnant. They're great hard assets, but they could be more. And so with Sundial, you can now stake these assets, you can lock them up, you can have them involved in lending and borrowing, you can have prediction markets, you can have NFTs built with these same chains. And so you have the full Bitcoin experience if you want the Bitcoin experience, or the full Litecoin experience. And you get to actually use those chains to basically take them to levels that they weren't originally designed for without altering anything about what makes them great at the base layer. Well, I would dare say some of the biggest challenges that we face is around education, awareness, and even just like acceptance. I think for many of the people who have been in Web3 as long as, I think all of us watching this video, all of us, you get a little bit cynical, a little bit down on particular tech or people or these or that initiatives. We've been around. We've seen rug pulls. We've been hurt. And so there's a lot of like cynicism around new ideas or new initiatives. And there's some things that people are like, I've seen a little bit about that, heard that didn't go well, and you kind of close your mind off because unfortunately there's so much going on in this space. Every day, new projects, new coins, new initiatives. So trying to stand above the noise is very difficult. Trying to, bring people over to the idea that like, UTXO chains, there's a lot of promise here. So it takes a bit of work, but I'm all for it. Education is something I'm very passionate about. And so we got to be able to do it in a pretty exciting way here. Ooh, what makes me proud? I am proud of the incredible amounts of really just like incredibly passionate people who have been building out this tech for years and years and years. We talk about like building on Bitcoin or building on UTXO chains. It's simple, but not easy. And that has been one of the bigger issues. And it's why Vitalik chose to build out Ethereum the way it was originally built out. There are like those early decisions to kind of make some sacrifices, and perhaps not all of those sacrifices were the right ones to make. At the time, we didn't really know any better, but it was, at the time, the appropriate decision. But now, in hindsight, we can say probably taking the more difficult route was probably the better one. And so we're now at a point where a lot of these underappreciated developers who are not particularly wealthy, who have been grinding out largely because they are passionate about decentralization, about security first, they've now come to a point where they've produced some incredible tech that I am unbelievably proud of. And I think the next 5-10 years of blockchain and crypto are really going to be built around their accomplishments. Oh, well, great question. So I am a very strong advocate for true product market fit and true business fundamentals when it comes to all things, blockchain included. So this is not a temporary flash in the pan, I should say. Sundial is built with institutions in mind. And having experience in government, I know that we are just at the very beginning of Bitcoin adoption. We are going to see additional national governments adding Bitcoin to their reserves. We're going to see pension plans, major corporates. Bitcoin will be added onto the balance sheets of the largest companies, organizations, governments around the world. And so we at Sundial believe this is going to be an incredible opportunity to service truly the future of finance by offering all of these organizations, these entities, individual people, mom and pops, an opportunity to save for retirement, to put their Bitcoin, their hard assets to work without needing to sell it. Still self-custody your Bitcoin, but have it get involved in various like lending protocols and look to basically win on just Bitcoin appreciation plus the appreciation of having it be out there in the world, being put to work as a loan asset, as collateral, and other things. So I believe, Sundial will be huge 5 years from now. Maybe dominating the globe. Let's find out. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to hear about the adventures of Sundial and where we want to go from here. We truly believe we are just at the very beginning of Bitcoin's experience to become a worldwide global asset. So the era of UTXO dominance begins soon. Maybe you don't agree, but for those of you who do, please find me on X at _Mr. Hunt _. You can also look up Sundial Protocol. So it's just at Sundial Protocol. And shoot me any questions. Happy to hear from you guys. And without any further ado, huge shout out to 2 Crypto Media for putting this all together. It's an amazing space, and it's been a real privilege to be here. So keep watching. These guys are awesome.